There is no meditation, no practice, no method, no way for mind to reveal to you, whatever you are, that what can never be known. You are the unknowable. There's nothing for you to do. You're here to experience yourself in a body, as a soul, as a spirit, whatever you want to call yourself, as consciousness. There's no other version of mind that can guide you, explain to you, offer you some sort of A to Z way of your life unfolding. You are completely lucky. Completely chosen. Completely selected to be here. And to witness. With no attachment. With no association. With no needs and desires. With no preferences. The beauty of being alive on this planet, in this universe. This speaker cannot speak about anything, about you, about the world, about the universe, nor about myself. Whatever mind is has created this confusion, this concoction of simplistic ways of trying to share, trying to narrate, trying to solve that what is unsolvable. It takes on a leadership, an ownership, a controlling element about itself to say, I don't know if I can do it, but I have the feeling that I can overcome. The idea, the thought of overcoming, the idea of the thought of I that thinks it can't do it, but needs to try to overcome it, is simply a dream. It's simply an idea. It is what it is. When life is allowed to flow freely, when there's no trying to dive in, trying to dive out of, trying to go there, trying to go everywhere, trying to create something more special, trying to improve it. It is seen as the eyes of what Jesus Christ said. Perfectly imperfected. Not a flaw in life. Not a need to measure, to prefer, to compare. Not a need to analyze and judge. What can analyze, judge, prefer, compare? That what is flawless? Something that does not accept life as it is. Something that wants more than this, that what it is. How sad it is that we take on this mind, this belief system that there is something more worthwhile other than this. The eyes, the ears, the tongue, the fingers, the lips are gifts to see that what is feasible around us and within us. But this dissatisfaction, this wanting more, this curiosity, this need to know, this idea that God is somewhere other than here. Is that what I am? Makes the mind wander. You see? Wonder what is going on. And wander into that what is not for you. Not for this body. Not for this lifetime. So therefore, the body is pushed into this moving entity, into airplanes, into boats, into cars. And time becomes lesser. This is not enough time in a day to fulfill that what this mind needs to see, has to see, wants to see. We're an unsatisfied race. Have you ever seen the lake still, where it reflects the mountain perfectly as the sun shines behind it or above it, and then it changes as the clouds cover the sun, and it begins rippling and creating some sort of directional way. The directional way takes whatever is on the surface of this lake to that direction. You don't see the leaves that lie on this lake fighting to get the other way. You don't see them trying to jump out of the water because it doesn't like the movement, the change. The ducks, the swans, they just sit and let that what is taking place take them to the next stage of the lake. And suddenly food at the bottom of this lake is there. Everything is bland. But we don't trust. We put our trust into a God. We put our trust into each other. We put our trust into nature, but then we mistrust nature because we don't like some of the aspects of nature, because the tornado can be prevented. So when we give birth of trust to that what is already trusting, nature, we confuse nature. We confuse our minds. And then we have to take action to come out of this mistrust, to learn how to purely, truly trust again. And to purely, truly trust again is to say, let everything be as it is. Let everything take its own shape. You're not walking into the face of death. Death is beckoning you. And it will take you in its own time. And you will feel fortunate because you will have experienced and uncovered so many things because of the trust. And you see then that time was an illusion. Time was a method to try and get as much out of life, more than what was expected of this mind, this body. The ego mind doesn't like these words because it thinks this is a lazy way. But this is a much, much harder way to try and take ownership of yourself rather than depend or hope that someone else will do it for you. Nature will take care of you, your body. Nature will take your body. It's nature that gave you this body. So the body is on a cycle. No body escapes it. But the mind, when the mind takes the same shape as the body, the mind and the body merge and become one. Soul is invited to this meeting with spirit, with consciousness, with God. And a realization is, wow, this I that tried so hard to change that what is immaculate, that what is pure, because it assumed there was something more, that it could achieve something more than God or consciousness, has been seen through. Everything is impeccably as it is, as it was made, as it was designed. One day, many years from now, all of this will make sense. Sages from the past, saints, assumed names, gurus, have been sharing this simple revelation that there's nothing you can do, nothing you can know, nothing that you are other than incredible, incredible, pure life that shines immaculately on an earth that reflects you as you reflect the earth as one. But the mind has chores to do. Each one of our minds has been affected, has been infected, has been diseased, has been purified, has been overwhelmingly taken into paradisial joy, into pain, into illness, into suffering, into depression, into anxiety, into confusion, into being lost. But the mind that becomes the mind on that lake, when it becomes still, when the lake is still, when it becomes moving and changing, directional, when the lake is moving, changing, and directional, when the mind becomes light, when the sun shines, when the mind becomes dark, when the sun goes, when the mind becomes glowing, when the moon in its wholeness comes close, when the mind that goes to sleep, when sleep is there, and when the mind that wakens up with a knowing that I'm awake, I'm alive, I am here. When this mind flows with nature, flows with life, this mind is free. This body celebrates in joy. The soul and the spirit enter this life and see that what has been hidden through needs, wants, desires, hopes and beliefs, past and future. When you become complete, whole spirit, whole soul, whole consciousness, whole body, whole mind unifies in that moment. God is born in that moment. Can you keep God alive? Or can you put God back to sleep and make it separate and return to that fighting against the ripples, the waves in the lake, fighting against being in this place and trying to reach things that are not for your pleasure or time being here? It matters not, because God has witnessed through you its pure glory, through the consciousness of itself that it gave you so that you can be here empty, clear, tranquil, and can see with clarity what this is, what Christ says. When you see with the eyes of God, you see it no different, but with pure love, pure tranquil clarity, pure recognition, pure gratitude, and pure praise for being here to represent God as whatever I am. Thank you. Thank you. No. Namaste.